Hi everybody, it's Steve Halley here with the Facilitators Tool Chest blog for September of 2021. Thanks for joining in. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about relationships, and among those that we work with in battering intervention classes, and how most people come to our program rarely, if ever, experiencing healthy, reciprocal relationships with others. And they're not skilled at being engaged in those relationships. And so a battering intervention class and a connection with the facilitator or the other participants in the room can be a person's first experience with a normal, healthy connection between two human beings. Dr. Natalie Hoskins, in her research, when she's looked at the socialization of boys into men and the trauma histories among those who, battering in relationships, she's recognized the suppressed emotional expression among people in that group of those who batter. But she's also been able to illustrate and point out the remarkable lack of social supports. And so I want to talk with you a little bit about that, because at the Family Peace Initiative, we believe that the facilitator is, to be effective, has to be able to make a connection, to build a relationship, to establish safety. And I love the way Stephen Porges in the polyvagal theory points out that connection creates safety. That if we are not skilled at creating a connection among those we serve, we can't create safety, or will struggle to create safety. And if we're struggling to create safety, then our participants are busy protecting instead of engaging and connecting. And we're pursuing an environment, a connected space where people can safely examine their own story, their own experiences, their own behaviors. Years ago, when one of our facilitators was just learning the art of facilitation, she was in a class, a women's class, and she was role modeling an activity that we do, a 2-chair exercise for those of you who have been to our trainings. And she became emotional. And one of the group members reached over and handed her a Kleenex. Actually, in this case, it was toilet paper that was accessible to women in the prison program that we were working with. And the facilitator, very early on in her career, understanding the art of the work, just kind of said, "No, thank you, I'm fine." And she refused the kind gesture that one of the participants was offering as the tears were streaming down her face. And I pointed out to the facilitator later on, after the group was over, that what she had done unintentionally was rejected an opportunity for that participant to care for her, to care for the facilitator, to enter into a reciprocal relationship where we can care for our participants and our participants can also care for us. And when people have never been engaged in really healthy reciprocal relationships, they have the right to care for people. They need to learn how to care for people, not only themselves, but also their group participants, and the facilitators are included in that group. So we're encouraging and not afraid at all for our group participants to show empathy, to show concern, to be caring toward us. And I have to tell you, just yesterday, really kind of a touching moment. We checked in our group, and everybody checks in with their name and mad, sad, glad, or afraid. And I checked in with my name, and I told people that I was sad and afraid. And I told them why. My 90-year-old mother had just recently taken a fall and was hurt. She's in the hospital. And the communications that followed from other group members of, Steve, I'm so sorry to hear about your mom. I hope your mom does okay. Thank you for sharing that, Steve. My mom also had that problem a few years ago, and it was very scary for me too. And the amount of empathy, but also the amount of connection to people's own stories kind of came forth. Now, the group wasn't about my mom. I was just telling people in a check-in what was going on in my life, and they were able to, in a very kind way, show care and concern for me. And that's a positive, reciprocal relationship. I can care for you, but I can also share with you what's going on in my life, and you can care for me. Even though I never have to make the group about me, sharing parts of myself helps that connection to grow and helps the safety to grow and develop. And so what I want you to know as a facilitator, that I'm sure you spend a tremendous amount of energy showing care and concern and compassion while you're holding people accountable and, not accepting abusive and violent behaviors. But I would also encourage you to let your group members care for you, be compassionate for you. That is not about having them buy you gifts, right? It's not about having them give you more money or, material objects, but to be empathetic and concerned for each other and communicating that is a part of a healthy relationship. And that's one of the aspects that we are trying to foster in the world of battering intervention. And so thanks so much for listening and thinking about that aspect that is not often enough talked about in the world of battering intervention work. And I'll look forward to seeing you in October. My goodness, the leaves will be changing and fall will be upon us. But as for now, the weather is beautiful here. It's a beautiful September day. I'd encourage you to check out our trainings, and if you'd like to subscribe to this blog, you can find that link on our website. We get it to your inbox every month. So thanks for tuning in, and see you soon.